Hello, how you doing? You're welcome to the Ugama Football channel. Chelsea and Juventus apparently have agreed a deal for Renato Veiga to move to Juventus on loan, um, with Juventus paying a 5 million euros loan fee, and with no buy option or obligation to buy. So, what do I think about this? For me, I think Renato Veiga has done well for himself. I think this suits the player. This, works for the player. I know Chelsea fans, I know even football fans of other clubs, when a player wants to leave your club, you always go on about, oh, he's a traitor, or he betrayed the club, or he in press conference said he wanted to stay in the club, and now barely 6 months in, he's leaving. But sometimes you have to take a step back and think from the player's perspective, from the perspective of the player as a human being, as an individual. He came to Chelsea with the expectation that he would be at least the number two to Mark Cucurella. And I'm sure he would have been fine playing in the Conference League, seeing that Mark Cucurella, you know, was playing very well and obviously seen as the number one choice for the left back slot, at Chelsea for Premier League games. But when things happen like Marco Corella getting suspended and you're having a Malo Gusto, a right-footed fullback, a right-footed right back, obviously, playing in his stead, that sends a message to you. Now, whether you like it or you don't like it, when an academy player is played instead of you, then that speaks to you as a player to know this manager at this point doesn't want me. Manager at this point doesn't need me in his team. So, as someone that wants to develop rather than sit on the bench and collect his huge weekly wages, it's like I have to leave and go on loan. I have to leave and go on loan. So for me, I think it's a fine deal for him to go on loan because I don't want him sold. Because I think he is a very gifted player, someone that's comfortable playing as a centre back, playing as a left back as well. So I think he is a player that Chelsea shouldn't be in a hurry to let go, in my opinion. I think for me, it's good news for Maresca. It's good news for Veiga because Maresca doesn't even want to play him. That's the truth. Maresca doesn't want to play him. He can say all he wants to say. Oh, we're leaving him. We're not having him in the squad due to technical reasons. What technical reasons? We're not having him in the squad due to tactical reasons. That's not tactical reason. What tactical reasons are you talking about? So that's fair, fine. He goes to Juventus. Hopefully, he has a good season there, plays very well, and then comes back to Chelsea, even better, someone with more experience under his belt. So I wonder what your thoughts are with respect to Renato Veiga um, going off to Juventus on loan. And then there's the talk of Karim Adeyemi. This is a player I've loved for a long time. Karim Adeyemi, to my mind, I think he should still be eligible to play for the Nigerian Super Eagles, but I've heard talks about um, it not being possible, despite the fact that he falls, within the new FIFA rules that allow players to switch nationalities. But let's see how that goes. But speaking on Karim Adeyemi, I know Chelsea will link to him during the summer transfer window as well, and at the start of January transfer window, we're linked to Karim Adeyemi, and we had Napoli as well, and now being linked to him as well. And it's funny because Napoli and Chelsea are linked to two players. One I'll be speaking about after this, but we're linked to Karim Adeyemi as well. So I think Karim Adeyemi is an interesting choice. He has backs of pace, he has ability on the ball, and I think with um, Mikhailo Modric gone, um, no one knows what the sample B result, what the outcome of the sample B result is. But the way it feels like he'd be at least out for this season. He wouldn't play anymore for Chelsea. I think Chelsea have a lack of pace on, the left wing, and then Sancho, for all he is very skillful on the ball, direct with his play, you know, amazing first touch. We're lacking that pace. I know Pedro Neto is there, he has pace, but sometimes he just struggles out there. So I would have loved to get a Karim Adeyemi, in my opinion, because I think he can play multiple positions, across that attacking front line. He can play on the right as well. He can play on the right as well. So would have been interesting to see if Chelsea could get him. But at this minute, they say Napoli are looking to get him. Let's see how that goes. And then the next, Garnacho, Garnacho. For me, ah, he's not a player that I really, really would want to Chelsea. It's one that if he signed that, okay, well, let's see how it goes. Um, he's someone that's been good here and there for Manchester United, and now he's apparently out of favor, you know, with Ruben Amorim. So, but for me, it's not someone I'm really madly keen on Chelsea signing, in my opinion. And it's just the profile of the player and what he brings immediately to the team. So, while like just like Karim Adeyemi, while I like Karim Adeyemi, while it would be interesting for me to see Karim Adeyemi at Chelsea, but one thing sticks out to me. I think Chelsea are making the same mistake they made come the start of the season, because even before the end of last season, it was clear Chelsea needs a striker. Chelsea needed a striker. Into this season, clear Chelsea needed a striker. Okay, we go into the season. Um, Nicholas Jackson has a purple patch, scores good goals to his credit, but misses a lot of chances as well. And then we'll come into the business end of the season, and Nicholas Jackson has reverted to being Nicholas Jackson again. It's clear you need a striker, but you're going for wingers. Hearing there's one other midfielder they're trying to get as well. But while all those are good, you need a striker. And on your books, if you wanted to get a midfielder, you have Andre Santos, you have Leslie Ugochukwu, you have even Keanu Dyer from the academy side that are available that you can actually use. And as well, Alex Matos that they let to go on loan, you know, could have been useful in that position. So I don't think you should be looking to sign a midfielder or looking to sign another winger. That would love Karim Adeyemi. But what you should be looking to do as Chelsea right now is to get a striker. We've known it that, and the way the team is set up, it's not going to win anything based on the strength of its defense. Chelsea would win the Conference League, maybe finishing top four, based on the strength of the attack. Great lots of chances against Bournemouth, great lots of chances, but we don't have anyone to take those chances. Now, Nicholas Jackson does a lot of good work on and off the ball, driving up players, popping up in different positions. But like I keep saying, the primary function of a striker is to score goals. And at this moment, he's not taking his chances, and this has been evident from last season. Now, each time we talk about signing a striker, people go on to say, "Oh, it will impede the development of Jackson." When was that? When did that become a thing in football? When? When did that ever become a thing in football? When Didier Drogba was in the line for Chelsea, you had Andriy Shevchenko was signed, and at that point in time, Andriy Shevchenko was of a higher profile than Didier Drogba. But Didier Drogba's performance kept Shevchenko on the bench. While Didier Drogba was there, Fernando Torres was brought in. Didier Drogba's performance kept Torres on the bench. And Nelka came on. He kept him on the bench, although uh, uh, um, Carlo Ancelotti decided to pair both of them, and that worked. That worked a treat, So this issue of blocking his development, you need competition. Sometimes that could even be good for a player like Jackson, because you look at the bench, there's someone that can take your spot. And when you see that, that serves as motivation. That serves as motivation. Sometimes when you're working in an office, there's someone that can do what you do. If you're working with an artist that draws, if you have another artist that you work with as well, he or she knows that I have competition that can do what I do, so I have to step up my game. Because sometimes it's difficult. I know, no matter what you say, sometimes it's difficult when a player who performs badly and looks at the bench and just knows that there's no one to take his spot. It's difficult for that player to motivate themselves to be better. It's difficult. I know that's what we all want. That's what we expect, from players. But sometimes it's difficult. But when you have a competition on the bench, raring to go, my number one choice is Victor Osimhen. That's what I'll always say. But that may be a difficult deal to do in this window because probably wants to tell guys, especially at the end of the season. Some people might say Liam Delap. Me, Liam Delap, I'm not such a big fan of him yet. But if you sign him, okay, you're trying to solve that problem. You're trying to solve that problem. Or you give Mark Guiu that you already have on your books a chance. You have to give him a chance to play. You can't just have him on the bench every game, or sometimes not even on the bench. You have David Washington. No one's giving him a look. So you can't tell me that Jackson is the only striker in the world that can play for Chelsea at this minute. And Jackson's supposed development is more important than Chelsea's, ambitions for the season. For me, the minimum would be win the Conference League and finish in the top four. So you have a striker who is misfiring. You need some competition that can actually come off the bench to score goals and to also serve as motivation off the bench. So the person you have in situ can play better. I know this not on the top now. I think just will linked to Tyler Diblin as well. And the pricing for Tyler Diblin is £55 million apparently. I think that's a bit too much for an 18-year-old. And it's a bit funny because at some point I thought Chelsea had signed Tyler Diblin. Somehow it was cancelled. I don't know what happened to the deal, but at some point, especially I think it was during when Clear Lake just came in. I think it was one of the youngsters they were signing for the academy or something like that, but it didn't quite work out. So for me, these are my thoughts on these various transfer news. What are your opinions in this? I'd like to know in the comment section. Please do subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell so you're notified each time I go live on the channel or post a video on the channel. So I'm also saying as well, before I go, I'll be having a live show on Friday, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. At this point, I'd like to say, do have a splendid rest of your day. Stay blessed and be good.